And this is the funniest thing about this. When opportunities feel like they're just like, well, shit, nothing's locked in for me. But when we get restabilized in ourselves, there's a certainty that comes in and goes, oh, my multiple choice bank that freaked me out because it just had a million options on it just dropped down to one. And I can't believe through all this freedom, like the choice is obvious. And it's so counterintuitive because when we have these false choices in front of us that we're about to plug into a system that didn't work for us ever, other than to help us feel safe, which to me is another word for stuck, you know, in that environment. I mean, safety is sure we need that to feel that within ourselves, but when the external safety is just locking us in with shit that doesn't serve us in order for us to feel okay.
Yeah.
Um, and when we find that internal safety, it expands us. We feel like the whole world's available to us. We get that clarity, that certainty comes in when we are open up to all possibilities, and it narrows down to a very clear next right action. And it simplifies massively. And most people right now are in that, oh shit, anything could happen. And the next level of that, it's funny, I often use this metaphor I call out past the breakers. And what I refer to is like, if you ever gone to the ocean, and it's funny, lived by it a bunch, and you watch so many tourists will start to wade out and they go out right where the waves are breaking and they just get pummeled and they stop there and they stand where the waves are breaking. They get knocked down and flipped over and and then they retreat back to land and they try to go back in again. But the truth is, if you just go out a little bit further past the breakers, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes this calm, soothing,
Mm-hmm.
really beautiful
Mm-hmm.
experience. But the breakers are violent and
Push you
confusing
around.
and
Yeah.
knock you around. And this is the exact same thing with this. Is like when we first start to look, we go, "Oh my God, this is so much. It's so overwhelming. It's knocking me around. It's destabilizing." But if we go out a little bit further, all of a sudden the certainty starts to come in and it narrows down and we feel who we are and what wants to come out of us and that emerging self and our greatest gifts, our primary gifts start to come out and our secondary gifts we start to see as the illusions of what they are. And then we get to utilize them to support us to bring our primary gifts, but we recognize finally that they're not what we should be basing our life around because they're just things we got really good at because the world liked us doing them.